Welcome to GFN Gaming, I'm Russ, and in today's narrative game, the Hammer of Titan falls on the weapon testing site at Calcitorus as the Grey Knights fight to save the planet from a demonic incursion of plague bearers.
I mean, it's not an incursion, we're just hanging out.
As always, if you want a quick reminder of the story, please go back and watch the story so far recap, and that'll take you up to the beginning of Game 8. And if you want to support the channel even more, then please consider joining the Patreon. There's a bunch of benefits on there, such as early access and a private Discord channel for patrons. Special shout out to Callum Turner, who provided some amazing voiceover for the Grey Knights. And so with that, please sit back and enjoy episode 13, The Hammer Descends.
The feculent touch of the plague god spreads across the surface of Calcitorus. Thankfully devoid of civilian life, the corruption of Nurgle threatens the brave men and women stationed at the military outposts scattered across the small planet. However, the emergence of a warp tear and the demonic presence in the materium has not gone unnoticed.
Warp anomaly detected, Grandmaster.
It is as the prognosticars said. Looks like we got here too late to prevent the tear.
Readings indicate a significant detonation at the epicenter, Grandmaster. It's possible the tear was forced open.
Very good, Palamedes. Justicar Valentine's squad is waiting in the teleportarium. Set them loose.
Aye, Grandmaster. Squad Valentine, to me. Form up. We need to secure the military personnel and purge the demons. For Titan. Titan.
There are 9 objectives in this mission. These are the military personnel fleeing the demons. The mission is to secure as many as possible for the end of the game, scoring 2 victory points per objective held. Operatives can perform a unique action within triangle or 1 inch of each objective, gaining 1 victory point. For the demons, this is Devour, and for the Grey Knights, it's Secure. Devour will remove the objective from play. The demon then automatically becomes the objective, taking on the soul energy as it is devoured, effectively carrying it. Additionally, if a plague bearer is killed whilst carrying soul energy, the objective's body is returned where the plague bearer died but is unable to be moved. And for the Grey Knights, they can use Secure, effectively turning the objectives into carried objectives. There is also a free order they can give after they have been secured, which means they stay stationary. For the purposes of tracking the objectives, they'll attach to the Grey Knight that secured them unless ordered to stay. Additionally, neither side can make a shooting attack that draws line of sight through an objective. That's the main mission, and both sides will also have TAC ops for this mission with which to score secondary victory points. Both sides chose from the security archetype, starting with the demons, and they ended up with central control, seize ground, and protect assets. It was a similar result for the Grey Knights, who ended up getting central control, hold the line, and also protect assets. Barricades were placed, and then the demons deployed, followed by the Grey Knights. Both sides opting to dash in the scouting phase. Let's take a quick look at the teams taking part. Leading the Grey Knights will be a Justicar armed with a Nemesis Demon Hammer. Next, they will have 3 Grey Knights all armed with falchions. And finally, making up the ranks of the Sons of Titan will be 2 Grey Knights armed with power weapons. Next up, we'll look at the Chaos Demon team. It's a double fire team of Plague Bearers, one being led by a Plague Ridden and another with an Icon Bearer, for a total of 12 Plague Bearers. Chaos has reached the weapons testing facility on Calcitorus. With the malign touch of the warp so close to the planet, plague bearers have crossed over from the immaterium to the materium and slowly march across the planet, corrupting all in their path, spreading the bubonic gifts of their bloated lord. Warned ahead of time, the Grey Knights race towards the warp emergence. Sent down to the planet, Squad Valentine begin their work to bring the planet back from the brink. Justicar Valentine issues an order to take the center of the kill zone, and Battle Brother Phalor strides forward, reaching a group of terrified survivors and secures the closest. Projecting psychic calming waves, the survivor falls in line with the Grey Knight. A fresh wave of vomit-inducing stench cascades over the survivors as a plague bearer lumbers forward towards the same group. Looking to follow orders, Battle Brother Zahariel takes the center of the kill zone. As he does, a plague bearer stumbles forward towards a group of survivors. In a gut-wrenching scream, the survivor is slaughtered as the demon takes their essence. Justicar Valentine races forward, taking the center of the kill zone, but is unable to draw line of sight to the plague bearer without risking hitting one of the survivors. Another plague bearer presses forward as Battle Brother Evander leaps to a vantage point to open fire.
These foul demons insult us with their stench. Remove them.
It takes 2 volleys, but a plague bearer is sent back to the immaterium. Once again, a plague bearer lumbers towards the center of a kill zone as a Grey Knight activates and races to meet it. Battle Brother Kestus crashes into the barricade and levels his Stormbolter. Infused with Cybolt ammunition, he unleashes a devastating volley into the plague bearer ahead of him. Psychically charged bolt shells saturate the area, sending the demon back to the wall. Even as one is slain, another plague bearer marches towards the Grey Knight's lines. With so many demons concealing themselves, Battle Brother Baranon races forward to secure another of the survivors. Once again, calming psychic waves wash over the human, and he falls in line with the towering silver giant. Moving with a cunning intelligence, the demons, obscured by clouds of blight flies, creep forward towards the Grey Knight lines. Able to avoid any potential overwatch, using the terrain and the military survivors to block the Grey Knight shooting, the malign operatives get ready to race forward and strike with their plague swords. At the end of the turn, and these 2 operatives have secured central control for 1 victory point. With the forces of the Chaos Demons pressing down on them, the Grey Knights have managed to secure some of the survivors already. They've taken out a few enemy operatives, but now with the forces close to one another, the real battle will begin. A tremble in the fabric of the warp runs through the kill zone. Urged on by this putrid power, the demons target the center of the kill zone and remaining survivors, as Justicar Valentine bellows out his orders through the squad's comms link. As the 2 kill teams ready themselves for combat, the remaining survivors panic at the sight of both the demons and now the giant warriors, and they flee. Acting first, Battle Brother Zahariel races past the fleeing survivors to target the demonic leader. He fires into the plague-ridden with his Stormbolter, punching holes in the creature, but it's not enough to take it out of action. On the other side of the kill zone, a plague bearer butchers another of the survivors, taking its soul energy, and then retreats from the approaching Grey Knights. Seeing this, Justicar Valentine races forward, firing with his Stormbolter as he moves.
Titan.
Reaching the barricade, he reloads the Stormbolter and aims down the sights into a mass of plague-ridden bodies. Targeting the closest one to him, he reaches out and fires. Stormbolter shells crash into the surprisingly durable body, but the damage is too great and the demon loses its grip on the materium. In their panic, a survivor races directly towards the plague-ridden champion of the demons. Looking up to see the putrid monster in front of them, the demon runs them through with its plague sword, harvesting their energy, Assessing the damage it has already taken, the champion then moves away from the combat, looking to secure the energy for its Plague God's ritual. Moving forward to secure the now fallen survivor, Battle Brother Kestis levels his storm bolter at the Plague Bearer ahead of him and fires into the mass of bloated plague flies. Although the plague flies obscure his target, enough rounds punch through to the demon and it is ripped from the materium back to the warp. Looking to break through the Grey Knight's lines, a Plague Bearer crashes into Battle Brother Phalor. Falchions cut deep into the Plague Bearer's flesh, however so too does the Plague Sword. Riddled with decay, a single cut is enough to kill most Astartes. Able to survive the onslaught, Phalor retreats from combat. Heavily injured in the melee, he turns as he retreats to fire on the demon with his storm bolter. Bolt shells rip through the demon, casting it back into the immaterium. On the other flank, another of the Plague Bearers crash into combat with Battle Brother Kestis. The combat is brutal, with the demon getting the upper hand and managing to take the Grey Knight out of action. Ordering his secured survivor to remain, Battle Brother Berenon charges towards the Plague Bearer that harvested the survivor's energy. The combat is brief as Battle Brother Berenon dispatches the Plague Bearer with ease, banishing the demon back into the warp. Looking to soften the target up first, a Plague Bearer stalks towards Berenon and lashes out with the Death's Head Plague Curse. Chaos energy crashes into true silver armor, however the Grey Knight is unharmed. Battle Brother Evander leaps down from his vantage point, looking to get into the action and races towards the fallen survivors. Unable to get line of sight on the Plague Bearer with the survivors so close. Ignoring the Grey Knight ahead of it, a Plague Bearer shuffles towards a survivor and rips its soul essence out of its body. Another kill for its god's tally. Firing now in Overwatch, Battle Brother Berenon fires on the Icon Bearer. Fresh holes punch through the Plague Bearer, but it's not enough to take the resilient demon down. Looking to recapture the survivor's soul and take out the Grey Knight, the Icon Bearer leaps forward at Battle Brother Berenon. Acting with surprising agility, the demon rams his Plague Sword through the Grey Knight's chest, piercing his primary and secondary hearts, taking the giant out of action. Battle Brother Zahariel lets loose with his own Overwatch, targeting the Plague Bearer ahead of him. Shots crash into the demon, but it weathers the storm, pus and fresh ichor leaking onto the ground beneath it. Preoccupied with the demon ahead of him, Zahariel fails to see the second one charging towards him until it is too late. As he turns to meet this new foe, he is skewered on the Plague Sword by the charging demon and falls to the ground as he is taken out of action. As the dust temporarily settles on the battle, the Chaos Demons have scored 1 victory point for protect assets, killing 2 operatives within range of an objective, as too do the Grey Knights, who also score 1 victory point for hold the line. Points are awarded at the end of the battle, but here are where the objectives currently stand. Still panicking, the remaining survivors continue to flee. Acting first, a Plague Bearer moves towards the survivors, cutting one down with its Plague Sword and harvesting its essence. Hearing the carnage over the local comms, Justicar Valentine takes a calming breath and briefly closes his eyes. When they open again, a sea of blue psychic energy rages behind them. He levels his Stormbolter at the Plague Bearer to his left and unleashes a devastating volley. Bolter shells tear the demon limb from limb. He ejects the clip and reloads a fresh one in one fluid motion whilst aiming once again at a Plague Bearer, this time just ahead of him. In another lethal volley, the Icon Bearer is utterly destroyed, leaving no trace of its stain on the materium. With his gun now dry, Valentine repositions, making sure he is protecting the remaining survivors. Moving forward, a Plague Bearer summons the magic of the Death's Head to fire on Battle Brother Phalor. However, its fell magics are no match for the burnished silver power armor. Returning the favor, Phalor fires with his Stormbolter. Despite his wounds, he is still able to take the demon out of action with a single burst. With the survivor's body now lifeless on the ground, Battle Brother Phalor sees an opportunity to secure the flank, and despite his injuries, he charges into the remaining Plaguebearer. Heavily injured in its combat with Zahariel, Battle Brother Phalor is able to decapitate the demon with his first strike, sending it back to the warp. As the demon dissipates, its victim's body appears on the ground in front of Phalor. This Plaguebearer moves forward to secure the downed survivor. Battle Brother Evander races forward to secure one of the remaining survivors, and then moves back towards the remaining survivors on this flank. Despite his injuries, the plague-ridden champion needs to secure this flank if there is to be any victory for the Plague God's minions. Moving forward, he fires his Death's Head at the Grey Knight and is just able to take the heavily injured Grey Knight out of action. With the death of the Grey Knight, this entire flank is now open, with a large group of survivors ripe for the taking. At the end of the turn, and the Chaos Demons didn't score any secondary objectives this turn, and the Grey Knights maxed out both protect assets and hold the line. Getting close to the end of the game, and here are where the objectives currently sit. At the start of the turn, the last remaining panicked survivor continues running. With a battle cry, Justicar Valentine charges across the kill zone to target the plague-ridden champion and fires with his Stormbolter. It's a crucial kill. Steadying his aim, he opens up with a Stormbolter and saturates the area with bolter fire. As the smoke clears, the demon is no more, dragged back to the warp as its material body is destroyed. In the last desperate play for the demons, the Plaguebearer charges into Battle Brother Evander. It's a brutal combat, one that the Plaguebearer gets the upper hand with, managing to take the Marine out of action to secure 2 of the survivors for its dark ritual. With no more moves to make, the Grey Knights end the battle having secured these 3 objectives, and the Chaos Demons have secured these 2. Which means that at the end of the battle, the Grey Knights have a grand total score of 14 victory points across primary and secondaries, and the Chaos Demons have 9, meaning that the Grey Knights are victorious.
Come in, Grandmaster. This is Justicar Valentine.
Copy, Valentine. What's the situation on Calchidorus?
We're clear for now, Grandmaster. The remaining military personnel that survived the incursion are being isolated from memory wipe, and we're preparing a site from which to begin the ritual to close the warp rift.
Good work, Valentine. I'm sending Librarian Faustus down to lead the warp ritual.
Copy that, Grandmaster. Sending coordinates of the ritual site now.
Valentine?
Yes, Grandmaster.
The prognosticars gave an ill omen in regards to closing the warp rift. This is why I'm sending Faustus, you understand.
We'll get it closed, Grandmaster.
Be ready, Valentine. This could get worse before it gets better.
As always, Grandmaster.
Thanks again for watching. Shout out to my patrons for helping support the channel, and Callum Turner for the additional voices. Please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.